And we're live.
You sure?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Cam looks fuzzy.
really?
No, it's just you. You look fuzzy.
I'm not fuzzy.
You need to shave. You look terrible.
I did shave.
You need to shave again. You look awful.
No, I don't.
You look
I
awful.
feel better than I did before.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Well, here
Oh,
we
wait.
are.
I swore before the 30-second mark. Damn it. We're going to get kicked off YouTube.
We're going to get kicked off YouTube for other reasons, not just that.
Oof.
Hello, crafters.
Hey, everybody.
Please don't. Put down my clips. We've already lost one of the rubber sides. One of the rubber rippers. We don't have anybody watching, so
There's two people.
Oh, there's two. Well, hello.
Hello. Two people.
So yeah, what's going on? Welcome to Talking Tuesday.
Hello, Ben. Oh my.
A lot of things going on this week. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things going on in the world. Let's break things out at the beginning. What's on the bench? You got stuff to paint. You just haven't been around to getting around to it. No big deal. That's fine.
You've got a lot.
Well, I don't. I'm working on. I've been building stuff for people, but I mainly got to still work. I'm working on Commodore's terrain. Yeah, I built them and I primed them, but that's it. I gotta get to some. Actually, those guys have been around a bit. I just found them and I was digging through boxes. I figured I'd prime them. Yeah, no, I got a lot going on because I got to work on Commodore's terrain. I got to get that finished up.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to work on it lately. I haven't been able to paint much lately.
Look, the Commodore has arrived finally.
Hello, Commodore. I had a tournament this weekend though that's taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Had a big old tournament.
You want to tell them what happened?
I got my ass kicked.
He got stomped into the ground over and over and over again.
No, I got stomped. I had a really close fight, and then I got stomped again. But I went 0-3. I was the last place winner.
Doesn't just mean the you were in the worst.
No, there was somebody worse than me because he quit.
Why did he quit?
Because he was a crybaby. No, not because he was a crybaby. Because he brought a gigantic freaking tank in the 9th edition 40K. You can't move that thing on the terrain right now. They gotta better clarify the terrain rules in 9th edition.
Yeah.
Because he basically brought I think it's called a Falchion. He's playing Chaos Marines. And he brought, it was a Falchion or basically it's a 30K. It's a 30K Marines Baneblade.
And
he couldn't get to anything because he couldn't move the tank anywhere on the battlefield.
If that's an issue for Chaos, that's going to be an issue for Guard if people want to run any Baneblades.
Like I said, depending on your table layouts, I mean, they need to clarify rules because big vehicles, I mean, they got to clarify the rules because you can't play Titans right now. If you're playing a table with 15 pieces of terrain, how in the hell is a knight going to get around the table?
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him for like being a little salty about that.
I'll be honest with you, Ben. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know Ben because I've never met him before, but I mean, yeah, that was the thing, and this really highlighted the issue because we were playing. I don't want to say packed tables. They weren't packed, but I mean, there were no clean shooting lanes anywhere on this table, and that's the way 9th is supposed to be played. They say you should have a lot of blocking, and the other thing is that they played every piece of terrain as blocking, and not every piece of terrain is supposed to be blocking. But he and his opponent didn't sit down and talk about anything ahead of time. He just assumed everything was blocking. That was it. Yeah, and it's like not all terrain is meant to be blocking. The only thing that was meant to be blocking, truly blocking, is, again, there's things he could have done that he didn't do, and whatever. I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, could have sat down, because one of the big rules with terrain is you talk with your opponent and go, okay, these pieces here, can we move through them? Can we shoot through them? What can we do with them? Or is everything blocking? Because if everything's blocking, I mean, then you might as well be playing a Zone Mortalis, and Zone Mortalis even says, don't bring vehicles,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I feel bad for you, but at the same time, I mean, I gotta say, there was a guy there that brought 3 Chaos Titans, and he had no problem. He brought, there was a guy that brought a, will you stop messing with stuff?
I dropped it, and I'm picking it up.
There was a guy that brought a corn Lord of Skulls. Is that what it's called?
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a Lord of Skulls.
Jeez.
A Greater Brass Scorpion, which are like this freaking big, and the Chitin, which is the Lord of Skulls, but it's a tank treads, he has legs. That was his army.
That's dumb.
He raffle stomped my he literally raffle stomped my Custodes into the ground.
Get wrecked.
I killed his Brass Scorpion. Hello, Taizo. I hear you have returned. I saw your man and give him great big hugs. Now I just see you to give you great big hugs and squish you like a bug. I don't know if you've met Taizo. Taizo's wonderful. No. So, but yeah, I mean, so the other guy brought 3 Titans, and he did just fine. Well, then I can't this weekend because I'm going to be at my D&D game, but we need to hook up anyhow because you actually live closer to my house now.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it was awful. He absolutely raffle stomped my shit into the ground.
You got destroyed.
Dude, first round, he brought his Lord of Skulls over and went, all your bikes are dead. Well, no, all the bikes on this side and all the dudes around them. And your assassin. He used the main gun on a Vindicare assassin.
I don't blame him. I think it's fucking bullshit, man. Fuck the Vindicare, dude.
I mean, it was fine. I mean, I learned a lot. The first guy played Zach. Really great guy. He taught me a lot about Custodes and playing them. I actually had him on his heels the first round, and then I misplayed, and I never really recovered. Unfortunately, when you're playing a smaller count army, you misplay something majorly, you're screwed. Yeah. And I misplayed it, and I was done at that point. And I killed his Sisters of Silence, and then I had 2 rounds to try and get my Telemon into someplace where it could actually matter. That's a quarter of my army just not doing anything.
Yeah,
it was horrible. So yeah, that sucked.
Need more bikes.
No. I think if I play them again, if I play them again before they get their codex, I think if I play them again before they get their codex, I think I'm going to play them with. I need to get their Terminators. Because their Terminators are pretty cool.
Okay.
Or run 3 Telemons.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. Because in the one fight, my Telemon went toe-to-toe with 2 Bloodthirsters.
Did he win?
He killed both Bloodthirsters. And then he punted a Demon Prince out of his face. Killed him too. 1 Telemon. That's a dead Bloodthirster. That's a dead Bloodthirster. Get up, Prince. It was beautiful.
Jeez.
Yeah. That was the one part of the game I was really happy for. He beat me on scoring. Jason, he beat me 72-66. just because he had so many of the little guys. I forget what they're called.
Bloodthirsters?
Okay, they're bloodthirsters. What's the big guy?
The big one's the bloodthirster. Little guys are bloodletters?
Yeah. He had like 90 of them on the field. It's hard to keep that from
and
scoring.
They probably all had the icons, right? That lit them when you
Okay.
Yeah. Because you don't run bloodthirsters without, or you don't run bloodletters without icons.
Yeah, and he ran icons and he got ones like 3 or 4
Did
times.
he have the horns too?
No, didn't bother.
Okay.
He didn't bother. The only good thing out of that is I killed his Lord of Skulls very first round. I went, hey, Lord of Skulls. Not Lord of Skulls. Skull Taker, the guy with the skull cloak. My Vindicator went, hey, bang, you're dead. And that was great. But then he ran 90 guys over me, and I killed most of his dudes. I got a lot of points for killing all of his stuff, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It just wasn't enough.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. Like I said, he won 72-66. It was a good fight. So Jason and I officially are now 1-1-1.
A win, a loss, and a tie?
Yeah.
Huh. How did you do tie?
We got to round 3, and we had to call the game, and it was pretty even at that point.
I thought you just table each other at the same time.
No.
You blow up a tank, and it blows up the last
No,
tank.
I was playing Custodes, and I had just done with my Telemon to his 2 Bloodthirsters, what I did in this game. But it went bad. It was great.
Oh, those Telemon Dreadnoughts are no fucking joke.
Telemons are no joke. They are possibly point for point most one Telemon killing 2 Bloodthirsters, done it 2 games in a row at the same time. I'm fighting 2 guys. Come on, I'm a
I
Telemon.
thought they had a max of how many wounds they could take.
I know. Per phase.
Oh, so you shot them, charged them. Okay. Yeah, because you shot them.
Oh, no, you understand. I fought them. I shot them. I charged them. I hit them. Then their turn came by, and they hit me back. And I hit them on my combat turn and killed both of them.
Whew.
There's the beautiful thing, though. They didn't almost do any damage to me.
Yeah, well.
No, their skull catapults are what killed me. I got killed by skull catapults.
Jeez. All right.
So that was what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I've
been working on some stuff, but it's not to do with wargaming. So
yeah. So yeah,
stuff you and the Commodore and
yeah,
Flight of Phoenix are involved in.
Yeah. Gaming's gaming. That's cool.
Yeah. Because I gotta get my prep for Demon the Fallen done, so I can run that game.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And hey, depending on where we run that game, I might be able to get you 2 more players.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be fun. That'd be you, Shannon, Commodore, Phoenix, and who else?
Potentially, because they actually live really close to the house here, and I know they're into dark and creepy stuff. Possibly, I don't know, Spinilius and Tyzo.
Maybe that could be fun. I don't know them, but I'd love to run.
Oh, they're adorable.
Okay,
they're adorable.
Listen. Like,
okay,
if you have
Tyzo's favorite armies are Nurgle and the Gloomspite Gits.
Acceptable. Okay.
And Spinilius is a Necrons player.
I don't know if I want to run a game. No, that'd be fun.
No. Spinilius is the guy that gave me the Silent King for Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're really good.
Which
people.
is still in a box.
I haven't built my Necrons. My Necrons are sitting there. I haven't built them.
You should build your Necrons.
They were supposed to be my army for 2021. And then what happened? Tau happened.
I think you would much more enjoy.
Yeah, and he plays on AOS. He plays the Bone Dudes.
Okay. I think you'd have much more fun building Necrons than you would building Mechanicus. I'm just saying, Dad.
My definition of creepy are different, yes. And Tyzo is creepy and dark and wonderful. And look, there's Spinilius, also known as Greg.
Hello, Greg. No.
Well, we'll get him in because he's in our Discord.
Okay,
we'll talk to him in Discord.
Get them in on the Discord channel, and
he's in there.
Oh yeah,
Greg is actually one of our Greg's one of my Patreon members.
Yeah, but let me know who they are on the Discord. I'll add them under the RPG role, and then I'll be like, hey,
yeah. So, Greg, we got to get Taizo into the Discord.
If you two have interest. If you don't, let me know.
Oh, Greg, I know you play D&D. Would you and Taizo want to play a dark, evil role-playing game with Gamecraft Dragon's son GMing?
Well, it's not dark and evil. Well, it is. It is and isn't.
Just shut up. We'll move on. Let's move
I'll
on.
explain it later. It's
all right,
fine.
So let's talk about what's going on this week in the world of Warhammer. Let's talk about 40K. Let's start off talking about 40K.
40K is mostly good.
No, yeah, I mean 40K is really good. I mean, Gaunt's Ghosts and the Imperial Guard, the new box set for them went on pre-sale.
That's exciting. I'm really excited for that. Even though I'm not currently building Imperial Guard army.
So yeah. Sisters this past weekend got all the things.
Yeah, I've heard it.
And they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I approve of the Sisters. I like their stuff. Did their stuff go on pre-sale, or did it actually get released? Actually, no, I saw it. It went on release. So I imagine, Tina, you're just building a giant mound of plastic around yourself right now.
Probably.
Okay, please stop doing that with my pinhouse. So they got all their stuff. We got confirmed that there are new Orc Boys on the rise.
Yeah.
No, the actual new Orc Boys actually they're okay. They're not as cartoony as the older Orcs were, which No, your pre-orders didn't come in yet? I'm shocked. I'm so shocked.
Oh, no.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. It's almost like Games Workshop real bad about.
You know what it is?
What?
They don't hire UPS. They don't know logistics like the Brown does. So yeah, Sisters got other releases stuff. So tomorrow. Yeah. The big thing is that, again, me talking to the rumor mill, point has been made that with the Cadians getting a new box and Gaunt's Ghosts actually getting a box that doesn't have standing rules for it, they switched to FedEx UPS and they still can't do this shit. Yeah. So the word is, and it's just, again, rumor mill, but Astra Militarum Codex is on the rise, probably right after Orcs, which we are almost 99% certain that they are the next codex coming out for 40K.
Orcs and then Guard?
Yeah, Orcs and Guard.
Maybe do you think they might get released together?
No, because Orcs are getting a big box. Because Orcs are getting the Beast Snag box.
I was kind of hoping we'd get like a Gaunt's Ghost versus Orcs box set.
Well,
that would be kind of cool.
Well, but that's the whole thing. We know we're getting Thousand Suns versus Grey Knights box.
That's fair.
So,
I just think it would be cool to see some Guard versus Orc stuff. Because have we seen a box set with Guard in
ever? Ever?
Yeah, that. I'm still
ever.
That would be cool to have a Imperial Guard versus Orcs box set.
Can anybody here tell me if the Guard has ever gotten into a battle box? Because I'm trying to think.
It's always Space Marines.
No, it's not always Space Marines. It's not always Space Marines. In 9th edition, there was a box that was. In 9th edition, there was an Mechanicus versus Necrons box. There has so far been a Sisters versus Adeptus Sororitas box. There's been Marines versus everybody box because that's how it works.
Well, the 3 posters on your wall are Marines versus.
Well, those are starters. Those are all Well, this isn't, and that was the Elves, and that's the Elves and the Marines. Like I said, Marines always get one.
And then we have that one too. It's Marines versus Chaos.
Yeah, Sigmarines. So we're thinking that you're going to get the Astra Militarum's on the rise. So that's good.
Yeah.
Seeing the new Orcs, the new Orc Boys. Orcs are getting a new Boys box, which is good. Again, they're not as cartoony as they were. I don't know how I feel about that. And they're still kind of cartoony, which is okay. but I like my orcs looking all goofy. So that's a me thing. So I was lucky enough to go and find a couple old boxes of boys.
Yeah.
And grab them, and they're stuck in my box because I'm going to need more boys.
They're kind of changing the visuals of a lot of stuff.
And that's going to bring us to Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
So Age of Sigmar Dominion goes on pre-sale this weekend. Basically, Indomitus for Age of Sigmar 3. They're even calling it new AOS, just like they did new 40K. They're doing the same thing. And then, you know what? That's fine. It worked out great for them. I'm going to say this, and I don't want to upset anybody because I don't dislike Age of Sigmar. I want to be clear. I like Age of Sigmar. I enjoy Age of Sigmar to a point. When they first announced this box and they first announced the contents, I was like, yes, I want this. And I realized it was marketing was working on me. It wasn't that I really wanted all this Age of Sigmar stuff. And the more I look at it, and the more I look at it, and the more I look at it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that I want it. I was going to convert all the Cruel Boys in there to Beast Snaggers.
Yeah.
And then I got a closer look at the models. Now, here's the thing. I want to be clear. They're great models. I think they're amazing, high-detailed plastic models. I think they look really good. They look like they are orcs that they designed for Lord of the Rings, and they decided to put them in Age of Sigmar because Lord of the Rings isn't paying them enough money. That's the honest truth.
Yeah.
They don't look like Warhammer orcs. The goblins are a little closer. The hobgoblins don't look like Warhammer hobgoblins.
The hobgoblins look like
the hobgoblins
Tolkien goblins.
And don't get me wrong, I want to be very clear. I like the look of the goblins, or the hobgoblins, or hobgrots is what they call them. I like the look of the models. I think the models look really cool.
Yeah.
But they don't look like Warhammer figures. They look like some other company released a orcs box of figures. Like somebody released orcs for some other war game. They're highly detailed. They're really cool looking. They have small heads. They have kind of normal physiques. They're not all cartoony looking. And I realized that's really the aesthetic that I like about the Warhammer orcs. It's the thing I really like about, like, say, the Mega Boys. Like the Mega Boys in Age of Sigmar. The guys in the big yellow armor. They look cool because they're all like, I'm a cartoon orc. Rah, rah, rah. They're cool looking. I like that look. You look at like the Gloomspite Gits, and they look hilarious. They're all giant hook noses and hook chins, and they're like, ah, and they're all crazy looking. And that's fun and wonderful and neat, and it's groovy. And yeah, you look at these new orcs, and again, they look good. They are good-looking models. They just don't look like Warhammer models. They look like, I don't know, some other game system. And it made me kind of go back and look at some of their other models. And I was looking at the other Age of Sigmar. I was looking at the Stormcast. And maybe it's just because I was looking at them really critically, or maybe it was because I was looking at them right after looking at those Orc Boys. They look good. Again, they're beautiful, detailed models. But the proportions seem different. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm willing to admit that. But looking at the initial pictures, a lot of the figures, not the giant bulky boys, which look bigger and broader than the regular bulky boys, it's funny, the guys with the shields and the hammer look bigger and broader than the paladins currently do in the current Age of Sigmar guys. They look bigger and brawnier. But the rest of the figures look leaner and thinner and smaller headed. They look like they're different proportions than the other Stormcast.
Like it's yeah, and that's fair. Like a lore reason
And that's the thing. Okay, so I'm not wrong. There's a lore reason that they changed. If I were to buy that box and put those Stormcasts next to my existing Stormcast, they're not going to blend in as well. And I guess that's okay but I mean, I don't know. There's something about it that just kind of irks me. It's like there's a moderate aesthetic difference.
Yeah.
Between the two versions of Stormcast. There's I can stick a Primaris Marine next to a Firstborn Marine, and yeah, there's a size difference, but the aesthetics are still the same.
Kind of.
The aesthetics,
there's
some differences, but you can see it. In the Stormcast, I mean, I don't know. There's still definitely some aesthetics, but there's a lot that's changed too. I don't know. Maybe it is a difference. They look maybe like they Primarisized them. And in addition, it's only two editions old. They've already Primarisized the Marines. And yeah, I understand there's a huge reason, and I get that that's lore, and that's fine. But it's just one of those things that I was really like super hyped for this new Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. And I'm kind of cooled on it. I'm like, I mean, I'm going to play, but I think I'm going to be good with the Stormcast I have. And I think I'm going to be good with the demons I have with my Slaaneshi army. I don't know how much more Slaanesh I'm going to buy. I don't know. I'm... Yeah. There's a thing. I don't think it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's bad. And that's the other thing I want to be clear about. It's not that I think it's bad. It's not that I want to crap on or anything like that. It's fine. I think it's cool. And I was talking with some other people this weekend, and they're super excited for it. And they were talking about the changes in the rules, and that sounds pretty cool. And then I realized what it really comes down to for me, because I really like Underworlds. I really enjoy Underworlds. I want to play that a lot more. And I really like Warcry. I want to play that more. But if I'm going to spend the time to do a big war game, I think I'm a 40K guy. I think Age of Sigmar is cool. I think I'm a 40K guy. I think I'd rather play Warcry or Underworlds for fantasy, and maybe play some Age of Sigmar here and there kind of casually. But I think really when it comes down to it, I'm a 40K guy. I mean, it's quite noticeable that all the pictures around me are pretty much 40K. There's a few dotted in there of specific figures we've bought.
Yeah, then you got the board right there, but that's about it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, those figures we bought. Specifically bought for the figures. You sold all your 40K stuff. Oh, all your death card. Oh my God, Tara. That's terrible.
Oh no.
All your death card.
That's fair.
Hey, and that's the thing. I think that's the thing that everybody kind of has to find for themselves. And that's why, and that's the thing. I think that's the thing. You got to know what you like. I like 40K. It's the reason why I have 7 armies. It's the reason why I have 2 separate Marine armies and a Militarum army and a second Militarum army that's all squats that I'm building. By the way, hand me that. I don't think I showed this off last week. Oh, wait, it wasn't here last week because I was sick.
Yeah.
You're free. See, you didn't put it back. They knocked it over. All right, so I found a company called Wargame Atlantic. Now, they have their own game system. And that's the thing. Again, I don't think it's bad that you like both. I think it's great. I think if you dig them both, you dig them both. And that's awesome. I know guys that do. I look at Jason. Jason's been a 40K player all this time. He's like, I really like 30K and Age of Sigmar. So he's ditching a lot of his 40K stuff.
30K is really cool.
So here's the thing. It's like I was saying. I found this company called Games Atlantic, and they have these alternate armies. And I don't know if you could see this too well because it's kind of reversed here. But it's basically they're squats. They're Imperial Guard squats. They're in the same scale, and they have the exact same looking guns and weapons, but they're space dwarves. Now, I got a box of original squats, and then I got a box of these guys. And I'm going to probably get a couple more because one box of these is cheaper than a box of Cadians and comes with 2.5 boxes of Cadian dudes in it.
Yeah, we did see that.
Did you see the GW news on 3D printing secondary bits? Yeah, I did. Here's the neat thing. Specifically, those rules are for Games Workshop tournaments. Do I expect ITC to follow those rules? I do not. And I'll tell you why I don't expect ITC to follow those rules. Creature Caster. Creature Caster is a super popular miniature maker that makes replacements for individual figures. Cromlech builds pieces and bits that I think every single orc player has. I'm going to say the same for Stormcrow, another company that a lot of people that play orcs use pieces for, and Imperial Guard. Victoria Miniatures, a unit that a lot of Imperial Guard players use.
Yeah, but Victoria Miniatures is real good.
So here's the thing. If you're going to play at a Worms, if you're going to play at a Games Workshop sponsored event that's purely Games Workshop, they don't want you using non-GW figures. They don't want you using non-GW bits. They don't want you using 3D printed bits. They don't want you using third-party bits. And if you read into those rules a little closer, they don't want you using models that are not currently in production. So, if a model has been revised and there is a new model of it, you're not allowed to use the old model anymore, even if it's a Games Workshop model.
It's a sneaky way of them attempting to push out the old versions of models.
Now, here's where that becomes a problem. When was the last time Games Workshop sponsored an event that wasn't at Warhammer World? They've got these things, they've got these road shows they're doing right now. Are those tournaments, or are those showing off their stuff in trade show type stuff? You've basically taken every orc player in the game and turned them off, because a lot of orc players are really proud of their older figures and of their ancient figures and of the figures they've cobbled together.
And a lot of
your metal, your old immolator, your old original immolator, and you and Tina both have all these metal sisters. According to that new thing from Games Workshop, you can't use them anymore in an official Games Workshop tournament. So they went so far as to go from you have to only use Games Workshop figures, or they have to be at least 75% Games Workshop bits, to no printed, no second party, no printed, no third party, and if there's some current model, you can't use an older version of a model. Okay. I mean, you say that, Ben, like it goes without saying, but I have a perfect example for you. There was a guy playing an army this weekend that had a beautifully painted beautifully painted army. And he was using the Lord of Change, the current model of the Lord of Change. But because the old Lord of Change is on a 60 millimeter base, he went, I'm going to use the old Lord of Change as a Demon Prince of Tzeentch, which I think is beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way to use an old metal figure and still have it legal because it's a 60 millimeter base. It's still a GW figure. That's awesome. Nope. Can't use it in an official GW tournament. You know, GW is going to do what GW is going to do.
Oh, yeah, no proxy models as well, even if it's a GW model. Yeah.
Oh, no proxies either.
Ah! Wow.
Well, so that honestly, to me, what that means, and I'm just being honest, I can't play my Orc army at an official GW event. And again, Ben, that's the point I'm getting at.
Yeah,
and that was actually the point I was making at. Antonio, you say it's non-news, but they made a big deal to promote this thing. But the reality is, you're absolutely right, and the same thing. You're absolutely right, Antonio. This is non-news. Why is this non-news? Because GW doesn't hold official tournaments, and I don't see ITC going, well, we're going to follow that rule to the letter
because they lose like half their players.
What would happen is they would have events just be like, whatever, because I mean, like I said, you look at some of the top armies. One of the perfect example, Jim Castell. Oh yeah, and that's exactly it, Antonio. That's exactly the point. That's where I was getting with this. GW is saying you can't at stuff we run. So they're basically saying we don't want you bringing that stuff in the GW Warhammer World, Texas, or Warhammer World UK, because we're going to take pictures and we don't want to accidentally have bits of third-party stuff on our website, which, as I understand, has happened. Okay. I'm never bringing my non-GW figures to Warhammer World Texas. I promise you that. And I will never have my non-GW figures and an Armies on Parade board. Oh. Oops, already did that.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oops, sorry, I already did that. I had non-GW models in my gold medal winning Armies on Parade board.
Oh, man.
Oops.
How could that have happened?
Again, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I want them to realize is that, yeah, they're making a big deal about this, but it's not going to cover the tournament scene, and it's not going to cover the local play scene. I'm going to play with my friends, and we're going to... Wait a minute, excuse me. It's like, excuse me, hang on, what?
Tony's about to kick your ass. About to come over and be like, come here.
Wait, what?
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for this response. He's gonna be like, listen here, you little shit.
So that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. The local GWs aren't going to run tourneys. So you're talking about either the GW Road Show or anytime GW has an official tourney at GW World. Again, it's not a big deal. You're exactly right, Antonio. It's non-news. It's actually very non-news. But it's like they felt they had to say something because Falklandia... Tara, my army that I played this weekend at Falklandia, the army I played with. Now, yes, I got my ass beat with this army, but the army I played this weekend, the only GW bits, that I used in that tournament was the base that I put my 3D printed grav tank on.
Yeah, so
Everything else in that army was printed.
yeah.
What
a dick.
Hey.
Who 3D prints Custodes?
Who 3D prints Custodes? Me. I do.
Yeah.
I 3D print Custodes.
Because they're just so expensive.
No.
They're so expensive.
No, it wasn't because they're expensive. That's the funny thing.
Your tank.
The tank
is so expensive.
No, not really. I mean,
it's
really,
like $400.
No, it's a $200 tank. No, you know why I printed them?
Why? Fuck Games Workshop?
No, not
That's
even.
fair.
I mean, it's not even Screw Games Workshop, because if I was Screw Games Workshop, I wouldn't have as many plastic models as I do. I love Games Workshop. I think Games Workshop is wonderful. I have thousands of dollars of their product on my shelf. I have their official art on my wall behind me. I love Games Workshop.
No, it's Warhammer now.
No, it's Games Workshop. They're worth. I bought 2 boxes of Indominus because I love them so much. I love Games Workshop, but I didn't know if I was going to like Custodes.
That's fair.
But I wanted to mess around with them.
They do look like fun.
And that is exactly it, Phoenix. Why did I print a Custodes army? Because I wanted to, and it was COVID. COVID lockdown. None of the stores are open. I want to try Custodes. Amazon's still delivering resin, and I got a printer. I got a Custodes army.
We still need to do some of these narrative stuff that we're talking about doing your channel.
So, that's the thing. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. I understand if a store doesn't want to have non-printed models. You have to have models you bought on the, I kind of get that. Fine, whatever. But at the same time, do you care? I'm coming into your store and I'm buying your paint. I make it a point, if I frequent a store, I buy stuff at that store. I buy stuff at Games Workshop. I buy stuff at Games Universe. I buy stuff at Factlandia because I want these stores to stay open. Do I buy stuff on Amazon? You bet your ass I do. But I also buy stuff at TK Games, which is a little hole-in-the-wall, shitty game store that I don't really like. But they're really close to my house, and I can get paints there when I'm short on paint. If I need a GW paint specifically, and I can't get anywhere else, I can get over to Board Game Barrister because they carry Citadel paints.
So,
if I want a paintbrush, I'm going to Michael's or I'm going to Walmart.
That's fair. Games Workshop paintbrushes are.
I'm not even getting started about that. Games Workshop makes great models. Games Workshop makes a great game. I like Citadel paints. I mean, how much to put it back away? I got a can of Death Guard Green here. I like their stuff. If I didn't like their stuff, I wouldn't. If I liked their stuff, I wouldn't keep buying it and painting it.
That's fair. So yeah,
but it's a hobby. You want to make your army your own. If since you built 3 boxes of Orc Boys, you've basically made all their variations. They're going to look all the same. Just get some extra bits. Print some extra heads. Buy some extra arms from another company. Whatever. Most people aren't going to care. Most tournaments aren't going to care. I go to the one place I go to now, Factlandia. He doesn't care. He's like, dude, I don't care. Play. Bring whatever you want, put it on the table. I don't care. You want to have 100% proxies, 100% printed. You want to put marbles that you've written the names of the figures on and put them on the table. I don't care. Just come in and play. Play. I mean, it used to drive me crazy seeing all these gray, not even primed armies on the table. Oh. It used to bother me. It used to stab me right here. right here and be like, ah, it's a non-painted army. It's killing me.
That's what I should do, right?
And then I realized something. It's not my army. Why do I care? Why would I care? And I don't. I realized once I had that.
Put a katana on the table.
See, that's not fair because Necrons are metal and Barbies are plastic. But like I said, seriously, it's one of those things I was like, why do I care? And you know, I got to thank Antonio for some of this insight. Yeah, Antonio, I'm calling you out because I got to thank you for some of this insight. Because I want to promote the hobby. There are terms I will not use anymore. I refuse to use certain terms. There are no non-viable units. Do you want to play that unit? Then you put that damn unit on the table and you play that unit. That's fine.
Yeah.
You want to play a non-viable army? Play it. Play what you want to play. Build what you want to build. Paint what you want to paint. If you want to build an entire Tauva army, so they're all Imperial Guard, but with the Tau shoulder pads and Tau guns because they've been converted to the greater good, then go play what you're going to play, man. Enjoy your stuff. If you want to build an army that's been twisted by the warp, so they're completely loyal, but your Guilliman stand-in figure looks like a giant twisted tentacle robot, which I saw somebody playing and was the coolest army ever, then go play your army. And you want to play Age of Sigmar, go play Age of Sigmar. If you want to put together a bunch of figures and put them on glue them to their bases and not give a shit about their paint, then don't. Play what you're going to play. Play what you're going to enjoy. Play the game and enjoy the hobby. Not everybody enjoys the same aspects of the hobby. I love building. I like painting. I love building. I love playing. I like painting. I enjoy painting. But I have a lot more built figures. And that's why I enjoy building figures for people. I'll show you. I'll get you a link to it, Tara. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll get you a link to it. It's in a really cool battle report. It's not what you expect. They're a completely loyal but twisted by the warp army, and they play as Ultramarines. Yeah, and Phoenix, you're exactly right. You're absolutely right. And that's the thing. That's why I'm like, I don't care. There's a guy that I'm right now that I'm building armies for. He hands me boxes and boxes and boxes of figures. And I build them for him. And he didn't ask me to, but I prime them for him because he's starting to paint his figures, and I'm trying to make it easy for him to paint him. So I give him a coat of base black and then give him a quick zenithal with some gray so you can see some detail. So until he paints them, you can kind of see details in the figures and you can see what they are. And then when he paints them, he finds them a lot easier to paint because he can see what he's supposed to paint and what he's not supposed to paint. And he's loving it. And he keeps giving me more figures to build for him. And then he keeps giving me more stuff in return for building his figures. I'm not going to complain with this arrangement because building figures is my mantra. That's my. I mean, seriously, dude. I built 750 points of Mechanicus in 3 days?
Fair.
And then like another 500 points of Necrons for him a couple days later. Speaking of which, Necrons players, I'm just going to tell you this right now. I got to tell you, the new plastic Flayed Ones figures are beautiful. They're an absolute bitch to build. Oh my effing God. They are a bitch to build. I was ready to stab out my eyes with a shrimp fork after building 2 boxes of them. They were terrible to build. You talk about just figures that do not fit together in a foreseeable way. And there's no piece goes in, its piece goes against and kind of lays here and then kind of lays there. And these two pieces kind of, oh my God, that they were a bitch to build. So there it is. All right. So that's our thoughts. I mean, yeah.
What's next?
So Age of Sigmar. So yeah, and that rounds me back around to this whole Age of Sigmar Dominion box.
I'll be honest. Even though I don't want to really play Age of Sigmar, I've kind of like fallen out of it. Like, I want those orc models because I'd love to use them for a D&D game.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Oh my God, those orc models and those like hobgoblin models. Like, straight up, that would be so cool. Putting that on the table and going, hey, this group of orcs is fighting.
And that's the funny thing. Those orc models, if you were running a D&D campaign where you had like a campaign against the orcs, that's a great set of models. Is it $100 worth?
No, it's not.
And that's the problem, is that they... And the thing is, it's not that... Again, I want to go back to the fact that they're not bad models. They're stunning models. They're gorgeous. Their leader that's standing on that lizardy mounty thing is just awesome. And the wizard looks just like Gul'dan. I mean, the wizard looks just like Gul'dan from World of Warcraft.
Oh my God, I want that model so bad.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But they don't look like Warhammer orcs to me.
If you do get it.
I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. And I've got to decide because they go on pre-sale on Friday. Now, admittedly, I know places that'll have them afterwards. But, again, I've got to decide whether or not I want to get them. Do I want those Stormcasts? I want the leader, the chick with the two spears on the top of the stairs. That's a gorgeous figure.
I mean, because you don't really want to play the orcs, do you?
I have no interest at all in playing those orcs. And I love orcs. I was going to convert them over to some beast snaggers, but they don't look like orcs to me.
Yeah.
They just don't look like orcs.
If I had the money, I'd offer to split it with you because I'd love to actually have those orcs. Straight up. Like, use those orcs.
But you wouldn't be using them for Warhammer.
No, I wouldn't be. And that's the big issue. But the models are so cool on their own.
They are. They're really great models.
Especially, again, that's freaking the weird boy or whatever he's called, the shaman, is so cool.
Yeah. And it's a lot of figures.
I totally use him for some kind of antagonist for a fucking D&D game.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great box. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things I really got to think about. Especially knowing that right down the pipe, you got the Beast Snaggers box coming out real soon.
Yeah.
And I want that. But I don't have all the money in the world for all the boxes of all the figures and all the miniatures in the world.
Oh, that's fair.
So, now the other thing we were talking about. We were talking about the orcs.
Yeah.
And you were looking at the orcs and going, oh my God, they're so overpowered. Because the new orcs, they released the stats for the new orc boys. Orc boys have a 4 strength and a 5 toughness.
Which means their boss snobs are going to have a 5 strength and 5 toughness.
That's the beast, yeah. And beast snaggers, the boys start off with a 5 strength and a 5 toughness.
And their boss snob is probably going to have a 6 strength, which is stupid.
Which means if he's got a equivalent of a power claw, he's going to be swinging 12 strength.
As just a dude is throwing that. That's ridiculous. That's tearing through the... Oh.
Now, let's make 2 points here. Let's say that the beast
custodians on 2s, isn't it?
With a 5 strength, yeah. That's running custodians on 2s, yeah. But what's a custody bouncing that on? 3s. And that's where the argument comes about. There's this complaint that they're too powerful. They're more powerful than the Marines are. They're stronger and tougher than the Marines. No. They have a stronger stat in strength, and they have stronger toughness stat than a Marine. But they still only have a 6-up armor save. So you start shooting them with -1 AP guns, and guess what? They die, they die, they die. They have no armor saves. So if you wound them, you're killing them. That's it. They didn't add them no second. They didn't give them 2 wounds.
But still, even with bolters, you're wounding them on 5s.
You're wounding them on 5s.
You're still wounding them on 5s with lattice guns. That's always been the case. So what is strength 5? What infantry weapon is strength 5?
Tau.
So Tau are wounding them on 4s.
Yep. Which makes sense. I'm sorry, but it makes sense.
I don't know, man. The orcs have never been. I get the argument that 2 wounds compared to 1 wound.
2 wounds and armor beat a 5 toughness and no armor. I'm telling you, Marines. Okay, my Marines will wound you on 5s, but my Marines are still putting volume fire down there. Yeah, the orcs are putting volume fire back, but the Marines are bouncing most of that like they have been all along. They're just making the orcs slightly less.
But they're putting it on a horde army. Again.
And?
Okay. And if
a horde army
have always been a horde army. That's the orcs thing. Is there a horde army with
a horde army with guns
and lots of melee attacks?
Yeah.
And
you get them into melee, they're going to rough you up.
And being able to throw a squad of 20, 30 guys on the table per squad.
Did you notice what they did to chainswords?
No.
And this is what I want to point out. Did you notice what they did to chainswords?
No.
All chainswords have a -1 AP.
That's fair.
So what does that mean now?
No, and that's fair. But don't their weapons also have a -1 AP? I don't remember.
They might, but does it matter? I'm going from having a 3-up to a 4-up armor save.
But the difference is that they have a strength of 4. So they're still tearing through guardsmen in melee and anything.
But they had a toughness 4 before. That's
no. But we're talking about they have the strength 4, and their weapons are strength user, and they have a toughness 5. Thinking you're trying to shoot 30 models that you have to get 5-ups to wound, and they're coming across the table. Most armies are not going to be able to shoot even one horde off the table.
I disagree entirely. Because there's a lot of strats that now go, oh, my 6s count for 2 hits. Or my 6s get an extra hit. Or my 6s automatically wound. There's a lot of that now. That's the thing. You got to play the entire army and you got to play the entire thing. The worst thing about it is that, do you know what the only bad thing about the orcs having a 5 toughness is? They've now got the ability to actually resist Death Guard a little bit. Because the -1 toughness really doesn't affect them that much. I've played Death Guard against Guard and against Tau, and knocking them down to a 2 toughness is devastating for bolter fire. Now I'm knocking down to 4s. So I'm actually wounding them only on 4-ups. That's really the only... Yeah, Marines have a strat that lets them fire again. There's I am willing to reserve judgment on the orcs until they come out. I don't think making the orcs have a different stat line, because the problem is every single army basically has the same stats. Guardsmen, Tau, Elves, all the same stat line. They made the orcs different. I think that's okay. I think it's okay. I think because the orcs still don't have any armor, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. It makes me think, though, what are they going to do to the Tyranids to make them different than the other Horde army?
don't know.
Are they going to give them armor? It would make sense. It would make sense for the Tyranids to keep with their 3 toughness, but have like a 3-up armor save. Because they're supposed to be just like these armored cans that you're trying to shoot through.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah. You get where I'm coming from that though? You get where
I see where you're coming from. I don't agree. I feel like the Orcs, when their thing comes out, they're going to upheave just entirely.
You mean like the
Yeah, no, but
like every army that has come
but
out.
that's not a good thing for the game.
But that's the whole thing. It's this. The problem is that has been the problem with Games Workshop since, I don't know, 96, 97.
Yeah.
Every time a new army comes out, somebody was telling me about 5th edition. 5th edition was the worst. At the end of 5th edition, there were 4 books that came out with 4 new armies. And basically, the 4 armies made a rock, paper, scissors that crushed everybody else. Like, apparently there was a Grey Knight in the Codex. There was a Grey Knight build in the Codex. That you basically had you had a squad of invisible Terminators.
No, and I understand that. I get what you're saying, but I don't feel like that's healthy for the game.
I don't think it's healthy either. But unfortunately, that's the way Games Workshop, they throw everything out. And then 6 months later, they go, oh, hang on, we might have messed up. Here's some FAQs to fix what we did.
And it's part of why, like, I keep, like, trying to sit down and get into the game. I play with some people in Tabletop Simulator. Part of me's not sure about it, dude.
Drakari are super degenerate right now. Space Wolves are really good right now.
But when...
Space Wolves are really good right now. And Space Wolves are looking for them orcs coming out because Space Wolves are going to chew orcs to bits. Because they don't get any armor saves. And I'm hitting them on 2s.
You're hitting them on 2s, but you're still wounding them on
4s.
No, because your weapons are strength. So 4 strength versus 5 toughness. You're still wounding them on 5s. The only exception is like mastercrafted power swords and like the bigger weapons. But on the chain swords, you're still
on the chain
wounding
swords.
them on
But we
5s.
also have a lot of strats that go, I get a +1 to wound.
It's fair. Hello, Doc.
They're making people use those strats. Here's the problem that I realized this weekend. I played a Custodes army. Here's all the strats that I didn't use. I didn't even have to bring them with me to the tournament because I had 7 strats that I needed to take with me. The rest of my strats could sit in the box at home because I'm not going to use most of their strats. Right now, people have stacks and stacks and stacks of strats. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, you don't use most of them.
Yeah.
It's going to make using strats more needed.
Yeah, but you're still only going to use a specific number of strats.
So which strat are you going to use, and when is it going to be the most advantageous to use it? And when are you going to rely on the dice doing your work for you? That's what I'm getting at.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I don't hate the orc change entirely, but
and maybe this reflects that the orcs have been building their WOG for a while. Remember when Vulcan got a hold of the great WOG leader, whatever that thing was called. I mean, he was literally 1v1ing something that looked like a cathedral tyrant. You know, those cathedral titans? He was 1v1ing one of those things, and that was a single orc. So maybe these orcs have just gotten bigger. They've gone, humans get bigger, we get bigger. Oh, look, these guys can shoot better, we get bigger. Maybe that's what's going on with the orcs. We haven't seen the lore yet.
That's fair.
So, yeah. So that being said, I think we're going to wrap up here tonight.
Really?
I got nothing else to talk about. We've talked about everything that's going to go on.
That's fair.
And I got figures to build for my client. And I got figures to paint for my man Commodore. So I think we had a good hour. And I think
Yeah.
if you guys enjoyed the conversation, go ahead and give me that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. And I think everybody here is. If you haven't rang that bell so you know when we're going to be doing stuff, I'm going to be away with my D&D game this weekend, but I might try and do a little bit of painting session live on Sunday.
Oh,
So
no.
keep an eye out for when we go live. Oh, yeah. Hey, Brian, good to see you. You're going to take care of the dog, but we are going to wrap things up here with a big shout out to all my lovely patrons as we roll up for the evening. So we're going to start off with my Battle Brother level patrons. And oh my gosh, he just showed up. I get to say his name. It is Brian. Brian, the mini warm up. And Insane in the Brain, Inquisitor Zane. We have our Battle Leader level patrons. We have the amazing, my two Wolf brothers. Battle Wolf brother, Mythos Kushranada from the Frost and Fist, and Hellworks by Hellchild, one of the best kit bashers I've ever met. Plus, we have Greg Tesh, the amazing Spinelius, and out of Cleveland, Joe Bookish. And lastly, I want to give a big shout out to my two Warlord level patrons, the amazing Flight of the Phoenix, and the man with the band hammer, and the man that protects me, the man that gives me hugs and cuddles in my sleep, or at least makes me think about him, the lovely, coming in from High Orbit Commodore. I want to thank all of you for coming to me tonight. Smash that like, smash it, smash it, smash it. And we will see you next time. Remember, epic your board, epic your game, and epic your table. I'd like you to paint your figures. I'd like you to paint your terrain. I'd like you to do something for the hobby. But whatever it is you do it because you love it.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
See you guys.